All right. Hello, everyone. I'm just waiting to make sure that this is connected, and it looks like it is. All right. So I'm just going to minimize this, and hopefully the stream doesn't just cut out randomly, because that's been happening a bit recently. So, real quick, what I want to just go over, I had a question about a previous video that I made a while ago. I don't remember the exact date. But I feel like I referenced a little bit more detail about how to link to sound files using tone.js. But just with everything going on, never actually got into making that file here. So basically, what I have here is I'm just going to go through what's going on and how to link to files to use in your tone implemented sketches here in P5. So let's just kind of jump right into it. So the first thing is if you are manually loading in your sound files, again, a reason you may not want to do that is if you have very large sound files, it's going to eat up a lot of storage. It's going to slow down your sketches, stuff like that. And you don't really want that. So if you can, it's a good idea to host your sound files somewhere else and then link to them. And essentially, that's what's happening in the background of P5. You're loading them, and they're getting stored in the server of P5, and then the sketch is just linking to that file. If you remember, that's why we're giving it a string to say where it's saved, just within the P5 server. However, you don't have to use that. You can use other servers as well, and they're all slightly different. For this one, it may look a little convoluted as we go through it, but I'm going to be using GitHub for hosting some sound files. So I've got in the description below a link to this page right here. And this is essentially a list of resources I use for the class that I teach right here. So it's pretty straightforward. I've got two kind of main folders of stuff, and you can go through all of this right here, and you'll find the files you want, depending on what you need. But essentially, you have to build the URL that you're going to be using in order to link to this. So we have to tell the P5 here exactly where to find the file in the entire internet. So that's why, again, it can look a little convoluted. So that's what's going on right here. So the way I like to do this is I like to set up a general, like what I call the base URL. And this is the part of the URL that will never change, essentially. So I've got that put right in the kind of description on this repo right here, so you can check that out. So if you wanted an audio sample, you can copy this as the base URL, and then you can fill in, excuse me, the rest of the URL depending on the category of sound that you want, all the way down to the file. And so there's that. That's essentially it. You just have to tell the computer where to find the file to use, and then it will pull it up and load it, assuming that it is able to. Now, again, I'm mostly using this one. I can't guarantee that every service you have, that may or may not be working. So I can't guarantee that. What I do have is, again, a link to this, so you can use any of the sound files here for free. They're all copyright free. You can do that. Or if you wanted to make your own kind of repository on GitHub, you can set that up. There's a few things you can do just to host it online. It's under the settings, and you can go through and adjust all that. I think it's under pages. Yeah, you have to set it up under the pages and get it published right there. But once you've published it under the pages tab of GitHub, you can just set up all that and just use it just like we're doing right here. So let's go back to the main page. So again, here's the kind of instructions. So once you've got this link here, the kind of base URL, from there it's the different categories, and you can go through that to find the specific file that you want. You can find out specific ones, and then you just kind of build in that that URL that you want right there. So that's really all it is. So I've got a link right here to one. And if you click on it, I don't know if I had my computer audio recording on. Let's try that one more time. But if you click on it, there we go. Then it will just take you right here, and it will play the file, and that's all. Again, this is nothing else on the internet. It is just the file that we are linking to. So again, I like to put this part here just as a way to not have to type this out all the time. So let's get into this, and let's just link to a file and start just do some basic playback, and that'll wrap out the video. So again, I've put all these on GitHub, so I'm just gonna say player is going to be a new tone.player object, and we're gonna look at the base URL plus, and then the rest of that again as a string, and I just realized I closed that out. Let's go back to GitHub, and let's go back to this one. There we go. So we can, again, go and look through here. So again, it's going to be resources, media, sound samples. So once we get media, sound samples, so now from anywhere after sound samples, we can just fill this in with the URL. So let's say, let's pick a magic sound. Why not? And here's a bunch of files. So let's go with cheercrowd.org. So I can just kind of copy that. Go back to here. Magic cheercrowd.org. And then I'm just going to connect this to the destination. I'm not going to go through all the routing stuff in this video. This is just about routing the things. And then I'll say when I click the mouse, player.start. So now we should hear this sound whenever I click the mouse. Oop, and it cannot find that file. Something it did not like that file. Oh, that's because I forgot the slash right there. I had to slash to go to the next level. So now, if we run this, it should just... There you go. We now hear this sound file being played whenever I click the mouse. Because again, in preload, we are going to this URL, which is currently broken up into two things, finding the sound file, loading it into the player, and then whenever I click the mouse, we just play it back. To do this one more time, I can say player 2, which I've got up there on line 1. It's going to be a new tone dot, capital T, tone dot player. And we're going to look at that base URL again, plus, and let's pick something different. Let's go with music. I don't know, awesomeness.wave. I honestly don't remember what this one is, but I'll do that, and I'll be sure to get the slash into that URL. So again, everything up to sound samples, if you copy that and then paste it here. So again, we've got the, this is my page on github.io, the hosting platform, and then specifically the PDM resources, and then the media folder, and then within that, the sound samples folder within that, and then working in music, and then the file. I've broken it up just by categories within that to hopefully make it a little bit easier to work with. Let's do that. And now instead of clicking the mouse to play player 1, we'll click it to play player 2. So this should play something different now. It should being the keyword. I'm not hearing anything. It is kind of a big file, so let's find... Here's an MP3. Let's do this one instead. Doesn't like that. All right. Well, let's just not do music again. I loaded up so many of these that it may just... Some of them may not work. Okay. Try that one more time. I refresh that. Why isn't that one into play? Oh, it's just because I'm an idiot and forgot the... I'd be lying if I said that didn't happen frequently. So now if I refresh this and click the mouse, we will hear this sound. You have that right there. So again, I've loaded all this up and I'm just telling the sketch where on the, in the entire internet, this one specific file is located. So that's why, again, you may have fairly long or complex URLs, but again, you have to filter through the entire internet and the entire repository of stuff. But that's basically it. Again, you don't have to have a GitHub to do this. As long as you can link to that specific file, you can use it. So again, all the stuff that I've set up here with the GitHub, that is free for anyone to use. If anyone ever contacts me and wants to add a specific sound to it, I can do that as long as they give it to me. So that, it's pretty straightforward right there, but it doesn't have to be here. As long as P5 can find the file, you can use it in the sketch. And that's basically it. I'm gonna end this video, and hope you learned something. Hope this answered a question from the viewers who posted. If it didn't answer your questions, or you thought of something else or anything, please put that in the comments below. I love answering those as best I can when they pop up. If you learned something or you liked it, consider doing the whole like and subscribe thing. All the YouTube stuff. It does help out more than you might think. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm just gonna shut this down right there, and I will see you all the next time that